Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury is a dystopian novel set in an unspecified city in America. In this society, books are banned and any found are burned. Ironically, the firemen, such as the main character Guy Montag, burn things instead of putting out the fires. At the beginning of the novel, Montag meets a young girl named Clarice McClellan. Clarice has a huge impact on Montag by showing him her curiosity for the world. While the rest of society has been faced with the absence of books and knowledge, Clarice asks questions and opens Montag's eyes to the emotion and value in understanding the world and asking questions. Throughout the course of the story, Montag begins to question the ways of society and the government. Clarice stops coming around to see Montag, but the friendship they have developed lives on in the newfound interest of reading for Montag. He steals some books from the houses he gets sent to on his job and hides them in his house. The captain, Beatty, finds out about this and gives him 24 hours to read what he wants, and then he must burn the books. However, this piques Montag's interest more, and he becomes curious about what the books contain. He rebels and continues reading. Later on in the book, he meets an old English professor named Faber, and they form a plan to bring back the books and end the ignorance the society has. Author's style. Ray Bradbury uses a lot of descriptive language and imagery. Overall, this enriches the story and makes everything more meaningful. With the descriptive language also comes symbolizing that gives the story a deeper meaning. The first passage I found reads, "There must be something in books, something we can't imagine, to make a woman stay in a burning house. There must be something there. You don't stay for nothing." This is a quote from Montag. At the beginning of the story, the firemen got sent to a woman's house, and she refused to leave. She put kerosene on herself and lit the match. This had a significant impact on Montag and contributed to his curiosity. It was a very unfortunate event, and Montag reflected on it, even bringing it up to his wife. A second passage I found reads, "We must all be alike, not everyone born free and equal, as the Constitution says, but everyone made equal. Each man the image of every other, then all are happy, for there are no mountains to make them cower, to judge themselves against." This is a quote from Beatty, the captain. This passage gives the reader insight as to how the society is run. It also contributes to a theme of ignorance. Taking away books and reading is taking away power. Without the power of their opinions, society remains ignorant and the government believes this is best for the people. Like it says in the passage, there are no mountains to make them cower or to judge themselves against. The third passage I found reads, "Nobody listens anymore. I can't talk to the walls because they're yelling at me. I can't talk to my wife. She listens to the walls. I just want someone to hear what I have to say, and maybe if I talk long enough, it'll make sense. And I want you to teach me to understand what I read." This is a quote from Montag speaking to Faber, the old English professor. This is significant because this is the moment Montag takes initiative in making a change to society. This is a turning point in the story because he is no longer concerned about changing things in his own life or concerned about the values of the firemen. The first theme I found throughout the story is ignorance. People voluntarily remove books from their lives because they are scared of the knowledge they could have. They prefer living their lives without having to deal with that knowledge and information. The fear or ignorance goes so far that they burn any books in sight to avoid the power of reading. A second theme I found is the loss of personal identity. Throughout the story, we see that the absence of books limits the voices of the people. They lose their right to having their own opinions on the world, which leads to a loss of personal identity. Part of what makes each person unique is the beliefs and customs they have. To lose the right of reading and knowledge is to lose their personal identity. Overall effect. Overall, I enjoyed reading this book. I like dystopian movies and books, so I thought this would be interesting to read. One thing I thought was cool was that it was written in 1951, but it is inferred that it takes place sometime around our modern day society. I think I made a good choice reading this book, seeing that I have read other stories and poems by Ray Bradbury, so I'm able to make connections within his writing. Thank you.